Hello, we're back again in Anchorage at Merrill Field. We're going to go for a flight in the Cub FX3 on skis. Let's walk you through the startup process on the airplane here to get it going. In the cold weather, it's been in the hangar so it's not cold, as you can see. My oil temp is 62 degrees, but yeah. Just going to run up to Palmer, practice some takeoffs and landings. So before I start the motor, obviously you got to make sure your master switch on. I primed it before I started the cameras. Got my fuel selector on both. Mixture is at idle cutoff. You want to position the throttle for around 1,000 RPM at startup. And turn your strobes on. I am going to turn the avionics off so you won't be able to hear me right when the engine is starting. That's good to protect the electrical system from power transients. Look around, make sure there's nobody in the way of the propeller. Hold the brakes, turn the avionics off, and then we're going to crank it.
At Charlie.
All right, back with you. Successful startup there. Oil pressure's good. Oil temperature is slowly rising. And we'll pull it back to 900 RPM or so. Let the engine idle for a second. Close my window. It's about 26 Fahrenheit outside. Actually, it's probably colder than that. It's about 20 Fahrenheit outside according to the ATIS. My thermometer still says 26 because it's been in the hangar. But before we go anywhere, we got to listen to the ATIS here at Merrill Field. So I'm going to do that now.
Runway 7, condition code 444 at 0201 Zulu. Runway 34, condition code 333 at 0159 Zulu. Runway 23 in the whiskey ramp is open to ski aircraft only. Reconnection advisories in effect. All aircraft must read back hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. Is information Charlie.
Information Charlie. I'm going to lean it out a little bit.
Tower ATIS Charlie 2253 Zulu. Wind variable at 3. Weather better than 5005. Temperature -7. Dew point -10. Altimeter 289er8. GPS alpha approaching use. Runway 3, 4, 7, and 5 in use. Notice air emissions. Runway 7, condition code 444 at 0201 Zulu. Runway 34, condition code 333 at 0159 Zulu. Runway 23 in the whiskey ramp is open to ski aircraft only. Reconnection advisories in effect. All aircraft must read back hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. Is information Charlie.
All right, so a little bit of an unusual runway configuration. They're using runway 7 and 3-4. I usually take off on 2-5. Winds are light and variable. Not sure why they're doing that. But either way, we'll call up and ask for an eastbound departure and see which runway they assign us. They'll probably ask what I want, and of those two choices, I guess I would take runway 7 since it'll point me in the right direction and it's a shorter taxi. So we're going to taxi out of the hangar alleyway here. It's always a little tricky getting through here. We got stairs on this little fuel farm on the left, and then we got a snow berm. Kind of wish that they would not keep those stairs right there, because it is kind of tight coming through here.
Ground transit 21, clearing at Charlie.
Transit 1, Rail Ground, runway 34, taxi via Charlie Sierra.
Charlie Sierra to 34, transit.
We're going to call for taxi. Merrill Ground, Cub 824 Echo Mike, experimental at ACE hangars, request taxi, request eastbound departure with information Charlie.
Cub 824 Echo Mike, Merrill Ground, wind 36060, requested runway.
Runway 7, if that's what's being used, Cub 824 Echo Mike.
Cub 4 Echo Mike, I can get you a runway 7 straight out, runway 7 at Charlie, taxi via November Charlie.
Taxi runway 7 by November Charlie, expect straight out, Cub 824 Echo Mike. Okay, runway 7 it is. I was just going to let her assign me a runway, but they left it up to me. Looking at the wind socket, it is favoring 3-4, but less than 5 knots of wind, I would say. I'm going to pay attention to the wind now. Put my crosswind control corrections in. It's a quartering tailwind from the right at the moment, so I'm holding forward stick, deflecting the ailerons away from the wind, so left and forward.
Transit to 1, monitor tower.
So we're just taxiing, we got about another quarter mile to go. She gave us Charlie intersection, which makes sense, pretty hard to get to the full length of runway 7. We'll turn right on Charlie, face north into the wind, form our run up there, see how icy it is, see how much RPM we can apply without skidding forward. By the way, we have the Summit S2300 wheel penetration skis on the airplane right now. So I've got 850/6 tires with the skis, so I can taxi on grim pavement like this without having to worry about wiring up my skis too bad if you had straight skis on. And I've got skis for landing on untreated runways that have some snow accumulation or off-airport situations here. Best of both worlds. I haven't flown a ton of off-airport with the skis yet, but so far they seem to perform pretty well. So we're coming up to taxiway Charlie here. We'll make the right turn, position for our run-up. Oil temp's coming up nicely, almost 100 degrees. Wind's coming into a quartering headwind from the right. I'm going to switch to tower now.
November 17 Foxtrot.
74 X-ray to set the traffic.
Get the CTAF for the
company that's just making that turn to the
Merrill Field area in the standby. Okay, we're faced into the wind. Pretty good spot. We'll see how much power we can put on the airplane without it sliding around. So I'm holding the brakes. First I'm going to do a control check.
Train 21 over departure, thank you.
Stick in a box pattern. Visually checking the control surfaces. As I do that, everything looks good, no snags. Left, right on the rudder pedals, those are good. Check my instruments. Airspeed 0 like it should be. Heading looks correct. Altimeter is correct. Gas is on both. Gonna go full rich for the run-up. Attitude, a little bit of nose down trim. We're gonna leave the flaps up for now. Now ready for the run-up. Okay, there's 1800 RPM, which is what we normally shoot for, and the airplane's not rolling. That's a good thing. Checking the right ignition. Okay, it's going fine. Now I'm going to go to my electrical synoptic, check my ignition backup battery. I like to check it for about 30 seconds and monitor the voltage. Make sure that that ignition backup battery is still performing and holding a charge like it should. Okay, that's good. Now checking the left ignition.
4 kilo Foxtrot, nicely done, thank you. And contact ground.
That's good. Back to both.
You're welcome. 4 kilo Foxtrot.
More cycling the prop. Looking for about a 1 to 200 RPM drop in RPM. We got that. Cycle it a second time. Looking for a slight rise in manifold pressure. 15.6 up to 15.9, 16.1. That's good. And then a third time for a slight drop in oil pressure. Not much, but that's fine. And now we're going to retard the throttled idle. Make sure that this thing idles okay. Idling fine at about 500, 550 RPM. And back up to 900. Okay, we're ready for takeoff now. I'll get my proper chart up here. I have my traffic display up on my GNC 355, which is my IFR navigator and comm radio. This thing's like an FMS if you're flying on instruments. Really nice to have. So, got the altimeter set. Run-up's complete. Looks clear. I don't see any other traffic in the way. We're ready. Merrill Tower, Cub 824, Echo Mike, experimental runway 7 at Charlie, ready.
Cub for 824 Echo Mike, Merrill Tower, wind 340 at 7, runway 7, clear for takeoff, eastbound, braking action, actually no braking action, report C, runway 7.
Runway 7, clear for takeoff, eastbound, Cub 824 Echo Mike, roger. All right, clear for takeoff, it's clear on final. This is the correct runway 7's verified. A little bit of a left crosswind, so we'll be ready for that. Transponder needs to be VFR, we've got that. Fuel pump's coming on. Mixture's rich, and the lights are on, so here we go. Definitely felt that crosswind there. All right, clear of the obstacles. Tracting of flaps, climbing out at about 71. 500 feet. Power reduction, 25 inches. 2,500 RPM. Okay, so here we are in the pattern at Palmer. Winds are 010 at 10, gusting to 15, and we're landing on runway 34. So it's quartering headwind from the right. It's probably about a 6 or 7 knot crosswind component. I'll have to get out my calculator later and do the trig on it. But yeah, we're going to practice some crosswind landings up here since it's windy, might as well. Just my technique, I like to use 2 notches of flaps, which I already have in, and fly the approach at about 50 miles per hour indicated when I'm in a crosswind situation. Just gives you better visibility and better control. Then you do a wheel landing. You can do it 3-point. There's all kinds of ways to do it, but this is what works for me. Palmer traffic, Cub 4 Echo Mike, left base, runway 34, stop and go Palmer. Looks clear, I don't see anybody else coming in. You want to be around 55 on base. We're a little bit fast, we're at 60 at the moment. But we got plenty of time because of this headwind that's going to slow us way down as we turn final. Ground speed's 53 right now. There's 55, coming around to 50 on final. Already did our landing check, we'll do it again. Gas is on both, undercarriage fixed, mixture's rich, props forward, fuel pumps on, seatbelts are on, landing lights. All right, we're going to keep it coming back here to 50. So we cross the fence to the airport property. And we'll set up for our side slip to correct for the crosswind. So we want some right aileron and left rudder at the same time. Keep that right wing low, taxi, and touch down on the right main gear before the left one. So here we are at 50. Ground speed's only 38.
Palmer traffic, 64 Foxtrot, crossing 10, Palmer.
All right, we got our right aileron in, and left rudder. There we go. Keeping that right aileron pinned in all the way as we slow back and pulling the stick all the way aft. Gently getting on the brakes, retracting the flaps. We'll do a stop and go, do it again. Okay, pumps on, trim is set, props forward. Here we go. Holding that right aileron correction, then some left rudder in there. Doesn't take much to get off the ground when you got 10 or 15 mile per hour of headwind working with you in this machine. About at 70. We'll leave that first notch in until we get to 300 or 400 AGL, which is about right now. Tracting flaps. At 500 AGL, we'll make our power reduction, decline power, 25 inches of manifold pressure at 2,500 RPM. We're there now. Palmer traffic, Cub 4 Echo Mike, final runway 34, stop and go Palmer. Okay, we're lined up on final. We've got our crab into the wind. We'll transition into a side slip here in a few seconds. As we have that quartering headwind from the right, about a, I don't know, at least a 6 or 7 knot crosswind component. We're going to start doing that now, getting a little bit of right aileron in with some left rudder. We're about 50 miles per hour. Looking real good. Our ground speed's 37. Flaring and adding some power, touching down on this right wheel first, and then pinning the aileron into the wind. Keeping it straight with the rudder pedals. I retard the power to idle, and retract the flaps, full aft stick, and full right aileron deflection. Okay, retrimming for the takeoff, and on the go. Keeping that right aileron correction in, nose forward, off the flaps. I'm out at 1 notch at 70 miles per hour. Got a little bit of a crab going. The winds are 030 at about 10 right here according to my G3X instrument system. So about 40 degrees, 50 degrees off the nose from the right at about 10, not too bad. All right. So we got the crab in still. We're going to start transitioning into the side slip here. So left rudder and right aileron are at 50 miles per hour. 39 on the ground speed. Now we're going to pin that stick all the way to the right. Full aft stick. Retrim it for takeoff. We'll blast out of here. All right, we're going to try to fly backwards. We've done some clearing turns. Winds are 050 at 50, so I'm going to put it on a 050 heading. We're at about 2,000 to AGL. And we'll see what happens. Going to put some flaps in so we can fly slower. Ground speed's approaching 10 miles per hour. We're at 9. 3.
Airport information, Juliet, current.
2. 4. 3. 2. 'Yeah, we're definitely going backwards. It's very disorienting. This is so weird. It's super disorienting. Wow, it's crazy. Five mile per hour backwards at the moment. Okay, that's enough of that. That's wild. Merrill Tower, Cub 824, Echo Mike, experimental, 3 miles northeast, Bryant, 2,000 feet. Inbound information echo, request closed traffic, runway 25.
Cub 824, Echo Mike Merrill, Tower, make sure runway 25, report crossing Muldoon.
Make straight in, runway 25, report crossing Muldoon, Cub 4, Echo Mike.
Wind 0704.
Okay, back with you. Gonna do some pattern work at the home base, Merrill Field. Pretty quiet out here today, so I figure why not. They got a little bit of a crosswind from the right.
Tower, Mike, still no joy on that set.
040 is what they're calling the wind, so a little bit of a quartering tailwind from the right. Less than 5 knots either way. We got a little tailwind out here, which is nice, doing about 140 miles per hour across the ground. Again, with the Summit S2300 penetration skis on, 850 by 6 tires. Gonna start gradually slowing up here. We got a report crossing Muldoon Road, which is in about 3 miles. Be sure to do that, but we'll make these gradual power reductions here just to be easy on the engine, baby it a little bit, especially given the cold weather. Although it's 31 here at altitude, there's always a temperature inversion around here in the wintertime. So it's really not that cold, especially once you get a few thousand feet above the ground. Not always, but usually. One of the cool things is you can actually set up a visual approach on this FMC and fly it in nav mode, especially if the weather's marginal. So we can go to nearest airports.
This 950, continue down until I call your base.
You got base for 950.
We can do an approach. Visual 25. Activate approach, activate nav mode. And it's going to capture the final for me. Pretty awesome. Keep pulling the power back as we descend here. We're about to cross Muldoon.
Cub 4 Echo Mike, runway 25, cleared, touch and go, make left, close traffic on the go. Braking action reported, medium by A, Skyhawk, wind 0304.
Crossing Muldoon Road now, runway 25, cleared, touch and go, and make left, close traffic. Cub 4 Echo Mike.
Cub 4 Echo Mike, 2 parking whiskey.
Cub 4 Echo Mike, parking Ace hangars.
Cub 4 Echo Mike, turn right through the gate, contact ground.
Turn right through the gate, contact ground. Cub 84 Echo Mike.